I want to talk about Drake and hip hop. Can a white man talk about hip hop for a second? Christ, this shit was wild. Let me catch you up to speed if you don't know shit about hip hop. The #1 selling hip hop artist of the decade has been Drake, and he is a petty bitch. I mean, he's as petty as they come, dude. So every one of his songs, he likes to do little snipes at other people. You know, he doesn't really do it direct, but he does a lot of snipes. Plus, I'm sure a lot of personal stuff over decades, right? Has led to a lot of people disliking him in the industry. The other big three, this is K-Dot, aka Kendrick Lamar. Now, these guys initially were friends. Drake actually brought Kendrick on tour when Kendrick was a small little artist. He put him on. There's interviews where Kendrick's like, dude, I respect Drake. He really helped me out. He put me in front of new people. All right, but they don't fuck with each other anymore. Largely because Kendrick had huge success and Drake started sending little snipes at him. I think the main thing that bothers Drake the most is that Kendrick has, if anything, has the lead probably. If anyone says who's the greatest rapper of this generation, the debate is probably between these two, between like sales and popularity and then like, you know, artistic credibility. They're both very talented artists in my opinion. I'll just say I have fucked with both their music at different points in my life. All right. I know people are Drake haters online. There's some Drake verses that I think are incredible. Maybe he didn't write them, but well, they're incredible. All right. And the third member of the big three, I'll put him down here, bro, was my man J. Cole. I still fuck with him. Cole fans ride or die. It's a rough season for us. He never had quite the sales of Drake, and he never had quite the artistic je ne sais quoi of Kendrick Lamar, but he had a lot of both. I mean, he sold really well still. He had some fucking double platinum albums with no features. It was really hard to do. And he had some really hard-hitting songs, you know, some great wordplay. He's a great rapper. He's clearly really practiced his craft. Kendrick Lamar is a huge fan of competition and doesn't like getting little subliminals from Drake over 10 years. So Kendrick Lamar drops verses like Control back in 2013, and this recent one where he kind of openly says, fuck the big three, it's just big me, all right? No one's on my level, calling out everybody in the game. Don't fucking get on my level, all right? And that verse has kicked off a frenzy, a hornet's nest of every rapper involved in the whole fucking game getting into the beef. I mean, it's crazy. This kicked on the hornet's nest. So the first person to jump in after Kendrick's and this was J. Cole. J. Cole sent a diss to Kendrick where he said like, yo, your last album was whack, but the rest of your shit was great. I love you. You're like a brother. But also you're kind of short. I mean, it was like a very light diss in all honesty, it was a pretty light diss because these guys are actually friends. There's no real beef there. I think J. Cole went in with like a, hey, friendly competition vibes. Anyway, 2 days later, he apologized. Which, by the way, I clowned on him a lot. We're gonna get to it in a second. Now that the Drake diss is out, I kind of respect it more. Because it's already getting so serious. It's already getting way beyond, you know, light jabs. So I actually kind of respect it a little more, though I will say, don't do it in the first place. It's kind of a fucked up thing to do. Throw a punch and then walk it back is just weird. It's just, especially when your punch was so light that anyone will be able to take it. All right, so he did that. So that's J. Cole. So he's kind of out of contention. I think he had a fucking fire verse on Red Leather afterwards. I still fuck with J. Cole, but I no longer see him as in contention for the throne. He's just out of the game. He doesn't care. He's out of the game. So it's between Drake and Kendrick. And everyone's waiting for when Drake was gonna drop his response. But then, in the meantime, every other fucking rapper started coming at Drake at the same time. I mean, Future, Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky. And by the way, when I say coming at him, it's not always with tracks. Rick Ross just unfollowed him on Instagram, and that's enough for Drake. Drake's petty. Yeah, The Weeknd. What's crazy is like, this kind of reflects poorly on Drake because all of these people have worked with him. Rick Ross and Drake have like 8 #1 songs together. So what is going on that everybody who once came up with him now doesn't fuck with him? He might be that petty. He might be a fucking unlikable dude. But anyway, everyone comes at him. So a bunch of people. There's like 50 more people that fucking Metro Boomin, producer. A lot of people all come at Drake in between. After J. Cole bows out, but before Drake responds. So now Drake is no longer like, just has to fight Kendrick Lamar, who is a real challenge. Kendrick Lamar is like super respected, highly selling artist of the generation. But now Drake is attacking everybody. So now he becomes Thanos. And today he dropped a fucking track that goes at everybody. And I'm gonna be honest with you, as a fan of hip hop, as a fan of a little drama, as a fan of beef, it's a good track. It's a hard track, dude. It's petty. This is for everybody. He fights back. It's a good beat. He's got good energy on it.
For us, how the fuck you big stepping with a size 7 men's on?
All right, first this. How the fuck you big stepping with a size 7 men's on? Already kind of hard. The last Kendrick album was Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Kendrick Lamar is pretty short. Kendrick Lamar's 5'6", bro. He wears a size 7 men's. It's a good punchline, all right?
This top toe you drop and give me 50 like some push-ups.
All right, now this is gonna be this is the theme of the whole song. That's why it's called Drop and Give Me 50. Top, aka Top Dog, is the founder of Top Dog Entertainment, which Kendrick Lamar is signed to ever since he was a small little artist. Drake is insinuating that Top Dog Entertainment gets half of everything Kendrick Lamar puts out. And that is Top is telling Kendrick to drop new music and give him 50%, like some push-ups. He's basically saying Kendrick Lamar doesn't own his own shit, and that everything he does goes to this guy, Top Dog. That's the whole theme of this. Drop and give me 50, drop and give me 50. That's like the hardest part of this, is that Kendrick Lamar is in a bad fucking contract and doesn't own his own masters. And that's like probably true. Just based on how small Kendrick was when he got signed to Top Dog, which is again a small little outfit, he might be locked into a really bad contract.
The way you doing splits, bitch, your pants might rip.
That's kind of corny. And this is kind of clowning on him for, I think the goal here is to be like, you know, you paint this picture as you're super artistic, but you've also done a lot of mainstream pop stuff, like a verse from Maroon 5 and a verse for Taylor Swift. That's the idea. You need a verse, you know, let's like hit him on that. Because I think crux of this argument is going to come down to the fact that Kendrick's highs are just so much higher than Drake's. But he's also done a bunch of pop shit. Like, you know, his verse on Bad Blood is not like a fucking game-changing verse. It's just a normal fucking pop verse.
SZA got you wiped down. Travis got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down.
This is complete cap. Drake saying that SZA, Travis Scott, or 21 Savage are in the big three over Kendrick is fucking stupid. That's not even close to true, but he's talking about numbers recently. Post Mr. Morale numbers.
With your ass, I had to hike down.
He's short.
Big difference between Mike then and Mike now.
This part's pretty sick. So Kendrick's original diss, the one where he first kind of started all this beef, he basically compares Drake to Michael Jackson. Big fall off, maybe kind of weird, and that he's more like Prince, you know, which Prince outlived Mike Jack. And then Drake flipped it. So he said, big difference between Mike then and Mike now. What the fuck is this, a 20v1? What's a prince to a king? He a son. And that's you know, it's good to like be a little clever and flip it. It was good.
Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums, nigga.
Yeah. That's the only bar Metro Boomin gets. Metro Boomin is a producer that's been producing some of these tracks. He just stops and says, shut your whole ass up and make some drums. It's kind of unfair to Kendrick that everybody comes at Drake, because Drake gets to get all these easy bars on easy targets, bro. He just gets to fill the song with these fucking easy punches that are fucking funny. He's saying they got me talking like I'm 50 Cent, who's the notorious like beef with everybody. I'm a big 50 Cent fan from back in the day as a person who grew up when I did and read 50 Cent's books. I mean, 50 Cent's beef with everybody in the game 50 times. All right, so this part changed. This is about Rick Ross. You might know Rick Ross, big guy, owns a lot of Wingstops, a successful rapper who used to be a corrections officer, but that was a secret. This whole part's pretty sick because they got me talking like I'm 50, aka 50 Cent. They got me rapping what I'm living. I cover like I'm Ricky, as in Ricky used to be a CO. 50 Cent uncovered this. So when 50 Cent had a beef with Rick Ross, he uncovered that Rick Ross used to be a corrections officer and worked at a fucking prison. So now he's bringing that back up, saying that's why he would cover. He's almost turning 50 years old. It is kind of true that like Rick Ross has like 7 #1 hits and they all have Drake on them. But I think they kind of helped each other. Both those songs are good because of both of them. So, and then this part got changed. In the old version, it said, you better worry about what you're doing with Diddy, which is crazy. He cut that. In the early version that leaked today, it was like apparently implying that Rick Ross and Diddy are connected, and a lot of shit's happening with Diddy right now. So I don't know if that's like legal trouble or I don't know, but they just cut that part out.
I don't care what Cole think, that dot shit was weak as fuck.
Now he even went at J. Cole. J. Cole was on Drake's side for this. Cole was catching strays for trying to stop the beef. Then they get Kai Cenat.
Deep enough, begging Kai Cenat, boy, you not fucking beating us.
Begging Kai Cenat is not insulting Kai Cenat. They're saying that a lot of rappers are trying to get on like Kai and Aiden's stream for clout. So Kai got a name drop in a diss track that's gonna get like, I don't know, fucking millions of views on. What top 5 you smoking on, Kendrick? So funny to reference this because this is from the stream where Academics goes, my top 5 is Drake, and then fell asleep during the album. This is a bad fucking sample. That album was a bit of a snoozer. That being said, he also ends it by saying, you know, I got more in the tank. Dissed everybody, had some good punchlines, and said, I got more. I got more if you want it. Don't wake the demon up. And then this part got cut out from the new one, but he basically implies that Kendrick has had a diss track ready for 4 years and hasn't dropped it. And he's like, just drop it and shut your mouth. Anyway, the point is, it's exciting. All right? We got to follow up within 3 hours from Rick Ross. So I'll be honest, I don't think this track is that good, but because it's a good old-fashioned rap beef, at the end, it drops like 2 fucking hilarious facts about Drake. That's a sample of Drake saying, my favorite person to rap with is Rick Ross, which he, you know, that's fucking good. Then he says, you had a nose job. Basically, Rick Ross just says, hey, I think it's spoken word at the end. He's like, hey, you had an operation to make your nose smaller. You got a nose job. I unfollowed you because you work with the police and you had 6-pack surgery. And you have to wear shit to hide it at your show now.
Yeah, you had that surgery, that 6-pack going. That's why you wearing that funny shit at your show. You can't hide it, nigga. White boy.
So, I mean, it was pretty solid for like a 3-hour response, and real shit's already coming out. What I'm saying is like, this is becoming real beef where they're not like saying, you know, I got better verses or I get more paid or whatever. It's like they're finding shit about their real life that they all know because they're all in the same industry, and they're going to start leaking it, and then it's going to get fucking crazy. I'm sure a bunch more shit is going to come from everybody he dissed. And the real thing everybody's waiting on is whether or not Kendrick will respond. Will Kendrick say anything? You gotta assume yes. How does he do it? I don't know. Does he get Pusha T to come back and reveal another Drake child? We can only hope. But I gotta say, given what I was expecting, I'm very impressed with this from the Drake side. I'm excited to see what Kendrick writes, dude. It's exciting. I mean, a good old-fashioned rap beef where nobody's dying. Nobody's dying yet. I mean, you gotta hope. Yeah, I mean, again, I think in rap beefs in the past, everyone was like less rich, more young, more tied to crime. Drake and Kendrick are rich people nearing 40. I don't think there's gonna be a Tupac Biggie situation, bro. But I could be wrong. Maybe this will be a bad clip. I really think this is gonna be an entirely rap beef, which is fun. So we'll see. I hope Kendrick comes correct. I hope he's got some good shit.